Hi there. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how to leverage Facebook for your real estate business. And I'm going to start off by showing you a couple ideas on how we can leverage Facebook. And then after this introductory video, I'm going to show you step by step how to actually do these advertising campaigns that I'm talking about. And I'll start off by sharing with you that 8 years ago, 15 of my friends all hopped on a plane and moved to Whistler, BC. And I was the only one who stayed behind to finish my education, and so I knew I was getting into real estate, and I called Facebook up at that time, and they weren't a public company, so they actually answered the phone, and I said, "Hey Facebook," to whoever answered, "I'm going to be using your advertising, but I only want to channel it to my friends and family. I don't want to advertise to everybody in the world. I also don't want to just abuse my wall and my status update by always saying how I'm doing open houses. I want to advertise where the advertising belongs and be like the local Nike of my local real estate industry." And the person on the phone said, "There's no way, you can't just give us a list of your friends and family and that's who we'll target." Well, the guy on the phone didn't know that you actually can. So this is an example ad. We've all seen these ads before. It would have your name and your brokerage info, and it targets just your friends and family. So here's a key note. If you're targeting your friends and family and your face isn't in the ad, they don't know it's you who's advertising, even though it has your name in the ad. So you have to have your picture in front of the listing that you took. So here's an example of a just listed. Now, in a 7-day period, we targeted only the 152 people, friends and family. They saw that ad 61 times each. So that's 9,000 reminders of who he is and what he does. And in the 7-day period, it only cost $7.41. So it cost $7.41 to get 9,000 impressions only to his friends and family. In traditional real estate, we're taught that if you have a database of 150 people, you do a monthly newsletter. And every month you create items of value and stuff them in an envelope, stick stamps on them, and out the door they go. Well, you would be lucky if you got 130 opened. That would be 130 impressions. Well, in 7 days, we got 9,000 impressions, and it only cost $7.41. So I'm not saying don't do direct mail. What I am saying is if you do direct mail or you don't, either way you can do this. So you can brand yourself, reminding them just listed, just sold, just listed, just sold. And how we do that is we say, okay, when you create the ad in Facebook, you target the cities. So you would put the cities and areas that you work. And then the filter that we use, because we can't give them a list of our friends and family, is to say, I'm only going to advertise to the people in these cities who like this page. And you just type the name of your page. So if you have a Facebook page, you can now use that as a filter. You see, everybody has a Facebook profile. On that profile, it shows where the people work, where they live, their age, if they're married or not, if they have children, everything they like, the TV shows, music, books, movies, and more. So all the advertising that I see when I'm logged into Facebook, like these ads over here on the right, are all targeting me because of this page, my profile page. So Infusion software is for real estate, and then they know I need toll-free numbers and I'm into SEO, and all these are targeted towards me. Now, if you're sitting at the same computer and log in, all the ads you see are going to be different, and they're based off of this page. It's the profile page. Well, we're advertisers too, so we can leverage that and channel our ads to people who, for example, in Toronto, there's 2 million people on Facebook. Well, if I was a real estate agent in Toronto, that'd be too many people for me to target. So what if I said, who are the people in Toronto that change their status from single to engaged? That number drops from 2 million to 22,000. Now I'm not targeting everybody in Toronto, I'm just targeting the 22,000 who have raised their hand on Facebook and said, we're getting engaged. Essentially what they said is, we're getting ready to buy a home in 6 to 12 months. So now you can channel an ad targeting that demographic. Now, when you listen to other social media experts speak, they give you the impression that you have to be constantly on Facebook and updating the content. And that's so far from the truth. The reality is you can create targeted ads that chase people based on their profile, and then when these people go from engaged to married, they'll no longer see the ad. But 6 months later, when a whole new group of people become engaged, they'll now be seeing your ad. So it's always fresh to them. It's just not fresh to you. Here's an example of who are the people in Toronto that are Spanish. There's 27,000. See, it's way better to target the 27,000 people and say that you're the realtor that speaks their language and you can service that community than it is to try and catch everybody on Facebook in Toronto, which is 2 million. Now, if you're a team and you're growing and you're trying to attract talent, there really isn't a job board or a message board where people raise their hand and say, I'm looking at joining another company, or I'm not doing too well on my own. See, a lot of realtors, they're good at the business. They're really good at working with buyers. They're just not, they don't have the systems to find more business so that the pipeline is always full. Well, if you're a team and you have the full pipeline, you just need more agents to service it, well, you can say, who are all the people in my city that are in real estate? Create an ad and target them, buyer agent needed. Now, they may not be ready right now, but you're going to be planting the seed in their head. That way, come January, when a lot of the people jump to another company, they'll know who to call. Oh yeah, I remember that agent was looking for a buyer agent. Maybe I'll call them now. So you don't even know that the advertising is working for you, even if they're not even clicking. It's just constantly reminding the people who you are and what you do. Now, people get brainwashed by television. So all those TV shows on fixing and flipping properties. Well, in this ad, I just said, who are the people in Toronto that like these TV shows? They're all brainwashed on getting a deal, and now you can be the realtor targeting fix and flip homes for sale in that city. So you can see how it's not only about updating your wall that you're doing an open house this weekend. You can create targeted ads that chase people no matter where they are. All those ads that I just showed you will be wherever they are. So if they're looking at a picture of their wedding, or their friends at a beach, or anytime they're looking at a picture or a video, underneath that picture or video is going to be your ad. So here's an example, one I made up, and it's an offer. I said, claim your free book from Chapters in Oshawa on buying your first home by calling, and I put my number. When you click the blue text, it has all the brokerage information and then the rules behind it. And before you get any bright ideas, you can't say, if you buy a home with me, I'll give you a free home inspection, or if you buy a home with me, I'll give you an iPad. I'm pretty sure that's illegal, but we are allowed to give out pens and magnets and items of value like that, right? Well, I just have a really expensive item of value. It's a real book that I went to Chapters and bought. Now, nobody actually called my phone number, but 14 people claimed it in 7 days. I didn't think anybody was actually going to claim that offer, so I had to run out to the Chapters. I had to go to 3 or 4 different Chapters because there wasn't enough at one location, buy up these books and hand them out to the people. And a couple of them were actually realtors. One of the realtors called me at like 10 o'clock at night, and he's like, well, the ad says to call you. And I just laughed. I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. So anyways, I got him a book. Everybody got a free book at that time during that campaign. I didn't have any rules. All you had to do was claim it, and you got it. And so what my theory is that 1 in 4 will work out. So if I give out 4 books, one person will do a deal with you in the future. The other 3 are totally going to run away, and I'm fine with that, because if you did it on a larger scale and bought 250 books, that would mean 190 people are going to run away with your $20 book, which is a lot of money. Let's say it's between $6,000 to $7,000 for all of those books. Well, that would also mean that about 60 people ended up buying a home with you. 60 times your average commission is a really strong pillar. And what I like about this type of advertising is that you don't prepay. If you have an open house coming up this weekend and you're going to put an ad in the newspaper, let's say that ad cost you $180. Well, you prepay for that ad, put it in the newspaper, it lasts for 3 days, and then you hope that people show up to this open house. Well, with this type of advertising, I only had to pay after the people claimed the book. So down at the bottom underneath these stats, you can't see it, but there was 8,000 people that saw this campaign. Only 14 of them claimed the book. The beauty of this campaign is that I didn't pay for the 8,000 people to see the campaign. I only paid when the people claimed it. So Facebook charged me about $23 for all of those claims and all of that advertising. That means the 8,000 people that saw this ad, it was just free exposure, in my opinion. Now, we all run client appreciation events to some degree. This is a way that we leveraged our client appreciation event and made it social. So at the event, we have a photographer. When he takes your picture, he would hand you this business card. These business cards are the perforated business cards that you get from Staples, and we just ran them through the laser machine. We went to GoDaddy and registered tagyourself.ca. That is a URL that we just redirected to the photo album of that day's event. And the call to action was when he takes your picture, gives you the card and says, find your photo. If you tag your photo, you're automatically entered for a chance to win. And at that time it was Toronto FC soccer tickets. Well, in this one picture, you can see how many clients we had at the event. Over here, it's really hard to see, and I don't think I can zoom in. About 17 people found where they were sitting, tagged the photo. That means 17 people tagged their photo. When they tagged their photo, that photo went out to all their friends and family. So all we did is take a live event and we made it social by bringing the people back to the event page and then finding their photo to tag it. And it created a viral campaign that we were already doing anyways. We already had the photographer. We just put the photos to use. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you step by step with the videos breaking it down on how to create the page, how to create the profile, how to create your group if you do that, and then how to leverage all the advertising. So you can just tap into it, each component as you see fit. You can skip the setting up a profile if you've already got it and just dive right into the advertising. So let's move on to the next chapter.